Our first video this time comes from Jessica and her family, who gathered in their kitchen to experiment with a Ouija board. They were skeptical and decided not to touch the planchette, expecting nothing unusual to happen. But before they could even begin, something disturbing suddenly happened. Take a close look.
You scared? Nigga, you scared?
Are you scared?
No.
I'm not scared.
Alright, we ain't doing none of the TV shit. I think all that shit is fake. We just gonna ask simple ass questions. We ain't holding no fucking hands. We just gonna see what the fuck happened. We made our own.
Don't we gotta put our fingers on it?
No, ain't nobody touching it. That's phony. If there's a ghost in here, he gonna move that motherfucker by his damn self.
I know you think it's cold in here too.
Don't try to scare me with the TV shit. Nobody's cold. The AC is on in the house. Don't even try. Ready. Everybody ready? Is there anyone else in here besides us? Can you hear me?
Hold on, give it a minute.
How long we gotta wait?
The first video gets even more disturbing when a cabinet behind them slowly swings open on its own. At first, nobody seems to notice, but while they begin wondering if someone else could be inside the house, the planchette suddenly shoots across the table without anyone touching it. Their reaction is immediate. Everyone jumps up and rushes out of the room in panic. What started as a harmless attempt to see if ghosts were real quickly turned into something none of them ever wanted to experience again. To this day, they still have no explanation for what happened that night. Our first video this time takes us back to a familiar and deeply unsettling TikTok account. It comes from an American woman known as Just Found This Cam. We have featured her videos before because she has spent months documenting what she claims is a terrifying escalation of paranormal activity, including tall, dark figures that seem to follow her wherever she goes. In this clip, she's simply walking through her neighborhood alone at night. But as she passes a completely dark and seemingly empty house, she suddenly stops. She clearly hears her own sister's voice calling to her from inside the abandoned-looking building. Despite how unsettling that sounds, she decides to go inside and investigate. Let's watch the raw footage.
I don't know why the lights are on, but I'm going inside of this house. I just heard my sister's voice, and I'm sick of this. And I need to figure out what's going on so I can put a stop to it. Is this chair in the middle of the floor?
As we break down this footage, the sense of dread is immediate as she slowly enters the pitch-black, abandoned house. The silence inside is almost deafening. Using her camera light, she scans the empty living room before focusing on a lone chair sitting strangely in the middle of the floor. Then the terrifying moment happens. Without warning, the heavy chair suddenly slides violently across the wooden floor directly toward her, as if pushed by something completely unseen. She screams in panic and immediately turns around, sprinting out through the front door. Was this really paranormal? Or was it simply a hoax? You decide. Our first video this time comes from a TikTok user named Sydney. She usually sticks to wholesome family vlogs and rarely talks about anything supernatural. However, she has occasionally shared a few paranormal encounters that some of you may recognize. But one particular piece of footage completely slipped under the radar. Wanting to capture the strange and unexplained activity happening around her home, Sydney installed indoor security cameras to monitor for possible poltergeist activity. What her kitchen camera captured in the middle of the night is undeniably creepy. Let's watch the raw footage. When we break down this footage, the quiet stillness of the dark kitchen is suddenly interrupted. Everything appears completely normal until our attention turns to the upper cabinets. Slowly and almost deliberately, two heavy wooden doors swing wide open completely on their own. The wide camera angle gives us a clear, unobstructed view of the entire room, and there is absolutely no one standing there. Even more strangely, both doors move smoothly and almost in sync, without the jerky movement you would normally expect from hidden strings or fishing line. So, what do you think really happened? Our first video this time comes from Willow Haunter, a British TikTok user we've featured on this channel before. For months, Willow has documented severe poltergeist activity inside his apartment, including doors opening on their own and objects being violently thrown to the floor by unseen forces. But as his videos gained attention, many people accused him of faking everything, claiming that a friend could simply be hiding behind the door and pulling a string. Fed up with the accusations, Willow decided to put the skeptics to the test. He set up a 2-camera trap to capture what he described as 100% undeniable proof of the haunting inside his apartment.
Right, so this is a response to someone who commented here. Got Deborah Evans saying that, I think you're all thick, and someone just opened the door. So yeah, you are right, I do think you're thick, but not my audience, just you specifically. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this door. Look, close the door. Now I'm going to go downstairs so you can see I'm nowhere near the door. Right, if there's anyone in this house right now, open that door. Right, and look, there's the camera recording me, so you can see, well, you can see with your own eyes, both sides of the door, so yeah.
When we break down this footage side by side, it becomes extremely difficult to explain away. On one side, we have a stationary camera pointed toward the kitchen side of the door. On the other, we have Willow's handheld phone camera. He starts by closing the door completely, then deliberately walks downstairs while filming around the lower level to show that the house is completely empty and no one is hiding there. Once he reaches the bottom of the stairs, Willow calls out into the silence, asking the spirit to open the door if it's really there with him. Almost immediately, the stationary camera shows the door handle moving before the door slowly swings open on its own. Because both cameras are recording at the same time from different angles, it's clear that no one is standing on either side of the door. Willow then immediately runs back upstairs, and his genuine reaction can be seen on both camera feeds as he approaches the open doorway. So, what do you think really happened? Our first video this time comes from an American woman named Jillian May, a TikTok user whose account has nothing remotely supernatural on it. Her feed is mostly everyday vlogs and random moments from her life. But one incredibly short and terrifying video stands out from everything else. One night, while staying up late on her phone in her dark bedroom, the atmosphere suddenly changed. She felt as though something was nearby, but she couldn't see clearly in the darkness. So Jillian decided to use her phone's camera to scan the dark corners of her room. And what the camera captured looks like something straight out of a nightmare. Jillian is clearly terrified as she slowly pans her camera across the dark bedroom. Since her eyes can't properly adjust to the complete darkness, she relies entirely on her phone screen to see what's around her. As the camera moves past the foot of her bed and toward the corner, a pitch-black shadow figure slowly comes into view. It doesn't appear to be a simple trick of the light or a pile of clothes. A distinct human-like shape can be seen subtly shifting in the darkness, as if something or someone is standing silently inside Jillian's bedroom, watching her. Our first video this time comes from a woman who posted something completely different from the content she normally shares. The footage quickly caught the attention of thousands of viewers. According to her, the recording came from security cameras inside a factory at around 4:45 a.m., when only a few security guards were still on the premises. But what the cameras captured that night was truly unsettling. Take a close look. Near the top of the footage, a small translucent figure suddenly appears and moves from one side of the area to the other. What stands out most is the way it seems to float, without any movement that resembles a person walking. According to employees, strange incidents had already been reported inside the factory long before this footage surfaced. Some believe the figure could simply be a reflection, an insect flying close to the camera, or some kind of camera artifact. Others believe it could be the manifestation of something that still remains inside the building. So, what do you think was actually captured here? Share your theory in the comments. Our first video this time comes from a YouTuber named Jasko, a veteran paranormal investigator who is no stranger to the unexplained. He's often willing to put himself in situations that would make most people run. In a video posted on March 7th of this year, Jasko decided to push things further by bringing a supposedly haunted doll named Toby into a house already known for paranormal activity. Combining two allegedly haunted elements in one place sounds like a recipe for disaster, and it didn't take long before the house seemed to react. Take a close look.
What the fuck? Guys, I swear to God, I just heard like a woman's voice like right here. It was very faint. I really hope my mic picked that up. I've just been laying here on my phone. I'm gonna properly check this thing. There's no like squeeze anything and like makes noises or anything. Sorry, Toby. Ah! Ah! What the fuck? What the fuck is going on? Fucking hate it here. Ah! Oh my god! Oh my god, oh my god. Fuck this place.
When we break down this footage, the strange activity seems to come from multiple directions. It starts in the bedroom, where Jasko is lying in the dark, waiting for the house to react. That's when he claims to hear the voice of a woman coming from somewhere unseen. But you don't have to take his word for it. Watch the right side of the frame closely. Just as the tension builds, the bedsheet suddenly begins moving on its own, as if something invisible is pulling it. Seconds later, a loud bang comes from the bedroom door. Jasko immediately gets up and follows the noise down the hallway toward the kitchen. But pay close attention to one important detail. When his camera first shows the kitchen doorway, a wooden chair beside it is standing perfectly upright. Jasko moves farther into the room, and suddenly a loud crash comes from directly behind him. When he turns around, that same chair is already lying on the floor, with no one visible anywhere near it. So, what do you think really happened? Our first video this time takes us to France. This footage comes from the YouTube channel of Tomoyan Hamlet, a well-known paranormal investigator who specializes in exploring the dark and forgotten corners of abandoned European buildings. Tomoyan and his crew are experienced investigators who have dealt with the supernatural for years and aren't easily frightened. But during this investigation, they entered an abandoned facility rumored to be filled with violent poltergeist activity. It didn't take long for them to realize that those rumors might actually be true. Let's watch the raw footage.
C'est le démon. C'est pour toi. Tu es là? T'es allé où? Edgar. Edgar. Oh la dinguerie. Il va le faire tomber. Il va le faire tomber. Fais-le tomber. Fais-le tomber. Qu'est-ce qu'il fait? Qu'est-ce que tu fais toi? Ah bah tiens.
When we break down this footage, it's easy to see why even an experienced crew was caught off guard. As they stand inside a decaying room, a sudden series of heavy bangs erupts from the walls around them, making it sound like they're completely surrounded. They quickly sweep their flashlights across the room, showing that no one is hiding in the darkness. But the noise turns out to be only a distraction. Look at the old rusted water furnace sitting in the corner. Despite its massive weight, it suddenly begins to wobble and shift completely on its own. As the crew watches in stunned silence, the heavy metal structure violently topples onto the concrete floor. The camera clearly shows the surrounding area, and there is no one anywhere near it when it falls. So, what do you think really happened? Thank you for watching until the end. If you enjoyed videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like so you won't miss the next stories on the Terrifying Circle. If you have any feedback, suggestions, or stories you want to share, leave them in the comments below. See you in the next video.